This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Hello and welcome in. This is Meltdown Live, as promised with you on this Thursday edition of the show. I am Tim Melton, and we are thrilled to have you on board for this pop culture campfire that we call the Meltdown. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss when we go live here on the channel. Let's go ahead and introduce our cast of characters live in the Culver studio as we have the one, the only E to the G-E-G. How are you on this Thursday? You've been busy, my friend.
I've been busy. I'm a little sleepy. I didn't really sleep great last night. There was a storm, woke me up, started just thinking.
I went to bed when the storm started, and then I slept through it.
So that was round 2.
It was round 2. Yeah, I went to bed around 2.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yikes. No.
So.
It was pretty loud, pretty scary. I don't like, storms don't freak me out, but I just don't like being awoken by loud noises. And that's what a storm is.
Yeah. I know you like a thunderstorm sleep.
Yeah.
But not when it's severe.
Yeah. And I like to be like at home cozy, not like in my apartment.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Tyler Lionel Johns here with us. Tyler, how'd you sleep during the storm?
Like not at all.
Oh.
I was already going to bed late because of the movie and finishing up some work for TNR, and then I awoke at around 2 a.m. After maybe, I don't know, hour and a half or so of sleep.
That's the worst. That's how I was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just laying down like, man, this is really bad. Is this not like a tornado warning? Like, let me check my phone. And I checked my phone to see a text from Hunter Bussey. He had just sent it and said, man, the storm's loud. It just woke me up. And so I responded.
Wow.
I was just like, me too, man. This is
I could have been in the
ridiculous.
text thread because I was awake too.
Wow. Be careful what you wish for.
You don't live at Raccoon City, EG.
I don't.
EG, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. You guys keep that between yourselves.
Yeah. But hopefully those raccoons got what they deserved because they need to back off. I had a bird on the way in today.
You hit a bird?
Oh, it was so sad.
Oh, don't even tell me that. I can't handle it.
So I can't talk on this show about anything that happened in my life?
No, Tim, that's not what I meant, but that's really sad.
It is sad. The worst was my daughter was in the car, and she's like, the bird's going to be fine, right? And I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and the bird is on the ground.
No. I love birds.
Bird was not doing well.
I love birds, and I don't know, it just makes me sad to think that they hit things.
Well, it technically hit me. I didn't hit it. It hit me.
I did say they
I'm
hit
the
things.
victim here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm driving in my lane. The bird swoops down out of the tree and boom on the windshield.
Feathers?
I didn't know, do I activate the windshield wipers? What do I do? I mean, it's like, it just, I got to quit acting it out. Anyway, the point is, bird was not happy, and it is probably no longer with us. So rest in peace, Tweety. This is a sad way to start the show.
Know, I don't really.
Let's get to some happy news.
Okay.
I have not encountered a day like I've encountered today. Let me explain. When it comes to this show,
Okay.
almost every single part of today's show benefits one person.
Me?
Tyler Lionel
No.
Johns.
What did I do?
There has been so much news that has dropped, and all of it goes to your
Taste?
tastes. All of it.
Dang it. I was hoping it'd be me.
Can I explain?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Let's start with what we did last night. Okay. We went and saw a movie called F1. Now, this is the EG win in that I've never seen a movie tailor-made for one person more than EG.
I'm so excited.
I'm watching the movie, and I'm not going to give anything away.
Don't even dare.
I'm not giving anything away. But we did see the movie last night. Tyler really, really liked it.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Good.
Just everything in this movie worked for me, and I really don't have anything negative to say about it other than it's kind of safe, and you've seen this sort of story play out before in other movies, but all of the pieces work.
I am not as high on it as Tyler, but I still really like it.
Okay.
Hunter has reached your level, if not surpassed your level. I don't know.
I believe so. He said he was going to see it again tonight.
Going to see it again tonight. It is a great summer popcorn movie. This is a movie. It's a tale as old as time. We've seen it play out 1,000 times in sports movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, from the technical side of this, it's in a class of its own. I say class of its own. It's in that Top Gun Maverick class of
Yes.
it's the same team.
Yes.
And I can't think of a Formula One movie that could be better than this one is. However, I'm not a big fan of racing movies. I'm not a big fan of Formula One.
Yeah.
Not my scene, not my vibe, not my thing. However, the visuals and the music combined make this a fun experience. Could it have been trimmed down a little bit? I think so. Does it lag in parts? I do think so. I think there's a couple of moments where you can check your phone and be okay. There's a lot of areas in this movie where I think you can take a breath, and elongated breath. With all that being said, I really like it. I could not get over the fact that, and this won't affect EG's experience, the commentary during the races sounded to me just like the pod racing sequences in episode 1 of Star Wars.
Oh, gosh.
And all I could think about was those characters calling the race, because you never see the characters that are calling the races. So all I hear in my head is those characters, talking about Sebulba and stuff. And I expected at some point it was going to cut to Jabba the Hutt up there watching the race or something. So that threw me out of it. Now, that's a me thing. That's not going to happen to everybody. But the commentary
Watto does not appear in the movie.
I thought he was going to. The commentary during the races is annoying to me, very annoying to me. And what they're trying to do is catch up people who are idiots. And I get that. They're trying to dumb it down for people.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to have that in a movie. It happened in Casino Royale, where they're going through certain elements of that movie. But anyway, F1, we'll get more into it tomorrow. Overall, we recommend it. I'm at like a 3.5 to 4. I'm in that range. It's definitely not lower than a 3.5. But I'm at like a 3.5 to 4 out of 5. I think the winner of the movie is Hans Zimmer. The soundtrack is so good. The score is so good. I loved the score immediately. I didn't know Hans Zimmer did the music for the movie until I sat down and I saw his name pop up on the screen.
Same here.
And the music is incredible. I really, really like that. So
He doesn't miss.
the presentation is fantastic. Brad Pitt is really solid in this. The cast overall is really solid. And
Javier Bardem was the standout for me.
yeah,
But I just like him.
you've said, have you,
I have screwed up his name several times.
right. That's
Yeah.
not the direction I was going.
Oh, okay.
But it makes me, want to grab you by the neck and tell you so badly, watch Skyfall. Please, for the love of all things,
I know.
Tyler.
Wait, what is the hesitation? Is it just because you're being told to do it?
No. That's really not
Are we
it.
sure?
It's the fact that I don't really have a whole lot of time at home to sit down and watch a
fair.
full movie, and give it my full attention that it deserves. Because a lot of the time, if I'm watching a movie at home late at night, it's gonna be
asleep.
I'll fall asleep, and I'm going to pick something that I've probably already seen before that's like a comfort movie,
A
so
mindless
that it's
watch.
okay if I fall asleep.
I got that. But you've gone through the entire Mission Impossible series.
Yes, I know.
You've gone through the entire Final Destination series.
Yes.
You've gone through the entire 28 days / weeks / years now in theater. Working a Skyfall one day in the future, because Javier Bardem cooks in that movie for sure. And I think you'll enjoy it because it does tie into some of our other big stories of the day. Because during F1, when we're in there, I get a little alert. Bzz, bzz. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? Denis Villeneuve hired officially for James Bond. Now, Tyler, you keep wiping off things off your clothes. You're very excited about this. Are you about to pull a I called it situation?
Not to say I told you so, but, you did hear it here first on the Meltdown. Tyler's tidbits. My tids are always spectacular.
Yes. Denis Villeneuve was one of several finalists for the movie. Now, I'm glad he got it. I talked about there being a tier of those names that excited me. Denny was at the top. Jonathan Nolan was second. Obviously, the minute they ended up buying the rights. Amazon, MGM bought the rights to Bond. Everyone's, questioning who's going to be the next Bond. I said, the most important thing is we got to figure out who the director is first. I want it to be Nolan. It needs to be Nolan. Should be Nolan. Let's make it Nolan. My second choice would be Denny. He's a lifelong Bond fan, die hard. He's talked about it. He's been rumored. He almost got into the director's chair. He was doing those stupid Dune movies. And Tyler's like, yo.
Stream on my end.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me at least get my dentist in here first before you do that, and then we'll call it a day. Alabama Dental Associates, they're great. We'll talk more about them in a second. But no, Denis Villeneuve is a fantastic filmmaker. I much more prefer Sicario and Prisoners than I do the Dune movies or Blade Runner movie or anything like that. However, it's really Sicario that's got me the most hyped, having seen that movie, champion that movie, for what he's going to do in the Bond universe. How much, Tyler, do you personally like this pick? I know you're a Dune fanboy, but there's really only one bigger name out there that would work for this particular job.
I guess I'm kind of mixed on it. I'd prefer him just have his full attention on Dune instead of Bond.
Well, it's winding down. Dune is winding down, don't you think?
There's more books. So I'm told. Don't know where that story goes after. Well, really after the second movie, because I haven't touched the books at all. But I mean, it'll be solid, but I would rather him have his full attention on Dune.
Have you ever seen Arrival? Anybody in here ever seen Arrival? A Denis Villeneuve movie?
Nope.
Really, really good. Amy Adams is in that movie. Jeremy Renner's in that movie. Sci-fi epic, but really an emotional tale about parenthood. And highly recommend Arrival. It's not what you think. It marketed it as an alien movie, and it's really more of a human tale. And it's really, really good. Denny is one of the finest filmmakers working today. They made sure that they got that statement out when they made the hiring decision, and I couldn't agree with them more of absolutely landing a home run hire in Denis Villeneuve. Now the question will be, who is the next Bond? But there's still a lot of excitement about this and a lot of reaction as well. You have some Redditors saying that they're really excited here. Denis Villeneuve is one of the best filmmakers working today. He's immensely talented. That is correct. You have a lot of official statements that have come out when it comes to this official hiring. Once again, the Broccoli's not involved for the very first time directly in this.
That is such a funny statement.
The Broccoli's?
Broccoli's.
Yeah.
I laugh every time.
Every time you bring them up, I'm just like, man, I'm glad I know that little piece of movie
Dropping
trivia.
broccoli.
Barbara Broccoli.
Mike Hopkins is the head of Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios, saying, quote, "We are honored that Denny has agreed to direct James Bond's next chapter. He's a cinematic master whose filmography speaks for itself. From Blade Runner 2049 to Arrival to the Dune films, he has delivered compelling worlds, dynamic visuals, complex characters, and most importantly, the immersive storytelling that global audiences yearn to experience in theaters." That is such a great line right there. In theaters.
In theaters, not on Amazon Prime at home.
That is the line. James Bond is in the hands of one of today's greatest filmmakers, and we cannot wait to get started on 007's next adventure. Man, that fires me up. Here's what Denny said himself. "Some of my earliest movie-going memories are connected to 007. I grew up watching James Bond films with my father ever since Dr. No with Sean Connery. I'm a diehard Bond fan. To me, he's sacred territory. I intend to honor the tradition and open the path for many new missions to come. This is a massive responsibility, but also incredibly exciting for me and a huge honor. Amy, David, and I are absolutely thrilled to bring him back to the screen. Thank you to Amazon MGM Studios for their trust." And is this moving the needle for you at all? A little bit more in the direction of like, come on, let's go, let's cook, Denny.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been a diehard Bond fan, so I'm just gonna need more details on where they're taking the franchise before I get all excited. You know, like, are they gonna cast someone that is, or I guess whoever the actor is for the First Light game? Like, are they going to go that direction?
Yeah,
Or
that's a great
are
point.
they going to continue the story in a way? Or is it going to be a completely different 007? I don't know.
I think it's going to be a completely new world, completely new era, completely new world, completely new production team. And they seem very committed to releasing to theaters, which is where Bond belongs. Now, they want to expand the Bond universe, which is also why they probably have Denny hired for this position, because they want to build it out. They want to have television shows. They want to have characters that pop in and out of both mediums. And I think Denny unfortunately, Dune has tried this and it hasn't quite worked. No one really watched Dune Prophecy. Did you ever get around to it?
Even I haven't gotten to it.
Okay. I mean, Dune Prophecy, I feel like is it's been a big miss because no one has talked about it at all.
Well, it takes place about 10,000 years before the story that everybody cares about.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
That's a problem.
Amy Pascal and David Heyman, the producers of this, have come out saying Denis Villeneuve has been in love with James Bond movies since he was a little boy. It was always his dream to make this movie, and now it's ours too. We are lucky to be in the hands of this extraordinary filmmaker. I'm telling you guys, this is a big win. There are only a handful of names, maybe 3 names, that it would have been an absolute, 4 names maybe, that would have been like really, really, really big home runs. This is one of them. Now, Christopher Nolan would have been there. I think Jonathan Nolan, I would have looked at that as a big home run based on his work. And then, hear me out for the 4th one. Do you have one that comes to mind that you think would just be an absolute massive home run if this person was assigned to James Bond?
Not really, but just back to the producers, David Heyman. EG will know David Heyman as the producer of all 8 Harry Potter movies, as well as the Fantastic Beasts spinoffs.
Yep.
So
David.
This is someone who will shell out the money for a project if he, sees that the team is putting it on screen, much like Harry Potter, and building out all of those sets and all of the crazy visual effects you have to do to pull off that believably. They're going to make this look right.
I agree with
David Heyman is involved.
I agree with you. Now, I've only made my way through one Harry Potter film, but the legacy is there for sure. I think Spielberg would have moved the needle still. If they had announced Spielberg was coming in and he was taking over Bond, he was going to do a Bond movie. Didn't quite work out. You got Indiana Jones instead. I know Spielberg of the past 20 years has not been nearly as acclaimed as what he did the 20 years prior. But if Steven Spielberg had been announced as being the director of the next James Bond movie, people would have still lost their minds over it. And his next movie is supposed to be getting back to that rare form of what made Steven Spielberg Steven Spielberg. So we'll see. It's supposed to be an alien movie, so we'll see. But this is a pretty awesome announcement. 2 big thumbs up here. The question is, who will be Bond? And when we get that announcement, that's when the internet will turn and people will be angry. Because if it's not Henry Cavill, you're already going to have the Cavill fanboys that are just, I call them the cavalry.
Oh, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
They're going to be very upset. And then if it is someone who skews a little younger, maybe, has a different
vibe,
type of color hair or something, I mean, people can lose their minds. People are very protective over James Bond. Everybody's got their version. And Daniel Craig felt the wrath of that when he was announced for Casino Royale. People lost their ever-loving minds. Ended up being what I consider to be the best Bond yet. Denis Villeneuve shares that theory. He says he's the ultimate Bond. He said that back in 2015. And he's talked about how tough it's going to be to find another Bond. So we will see where this goes. I'm sure they already have someone that they're honing in on if they haven't already locked them up. We will learn about it very soon, I assume. So great news there while we were at F1 last night. Let's get into some more great news, and that is that I have found the dentists that I want to spend my time with. That is Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They're located on Grants Mill Road. They're there for you, making sure that they've got those late hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They've got hours on Friday and Saturday as well. But there's really no reason that you can't work in a quick trip to the dentist on your schedule. Get on top of those regular cleanings as they are there for you. I recommend going to the dentist at night. It's a fun time. It's a fun experience. And it's my favorite time to go, mainly because I don't want to leave. So I don't even care if my appointment's at 2 p.m. I'm staying until 7 until they tell me, hey, you got to go home to your family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, if you're forcing me to,
Do me.
if the police are on the way, I guess I will go. But that's how much I love Alabama Dental Associates. Jim Dunaway, our good buddy here in the office, he took a trip over to Alabama Dental. He's a happy customer and patient, and you will be too. Go ahead and give them a call, 205-956-8977, or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, I'm going to throw out some Tyler happy headlines,
Oh, I like that.
and we're going to gauge whether or not we can wake him up today. So here we go. Let's look at this.
Good luck. I didn't manage to fall back asleep after the thunderstorm.
I gotcha. Well, here's some stuff that may make you feel good, and maybe it'll jar you alive, because it's alive. It's alive. Yes, Mel Brooks's comedy classic, Young Frankenstein.
I saw this. I did
Good,
see
okay,
this. That made me happy when I
there it
saw the headline. I
is.
didn't get a chance to read the article though. So tell me about it.
Well, Young Frankenstein is nearing a deal at FX where it is going to become a television show. This is a pilot order at FX where Mel Brooks is a part of it. And, well, he may be a part of it. He's going to executive produce.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how much of that is figurative compared to literally being a part of making this work. But
Well,
he's
executive producer for TV is typically like the showrunner.
Yeah, he's not going to be the showrunner. Come on.
I mean, I
The
wouldn't
band's
expect
90
99-year-old Mel Brooks to be a showrunner, but if anybody could do it, it's him.
I'm going to make a football analogy, okay?
I'm listening.
FSU,
Yeah.
one of probably their biggest coach of all time is Bobby Bowden,
Yeah.
okay? Bobby Bowden, at one point, became sort of like a figurehead. He became more of a, just sort of
Bigger than a.
I don't want to say mascot because that sounds demoralizing, but what I mean is he became a guy that they championed being there on the sidelines for longer than he probably should have,
Yeah.
while somebody else ran the team.
Yeah, that
I feel like that's going to happen with Mel Brooks in this situation, but I am simply guessing here. But he's going to be working with a trio of creatives from FX's What We Do in the Shadows. Stephanie Robinson will serve as writer and showrunner. Taika Waititi will direct the pilot. And, he's obviously, Taika is known for some really funny stuff. I think Thor Ragnarok is hilarious. Now we got Thor Love and Thunder, which is the follow-up there,
Yeah.
but Taika needs to get back on his A game for sure. But this is a series based on the classic 1974 film, and I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Ooh, if it's Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi, we're in for a real treat because I absolutely love the Young Frankenstein style humor. It's a shame we don't have Gene Wilder still around to make this, but I'm good with more Young Frankenstein.
Could be good.
I love that movie.
If Alien Earth is really, really good as well, it'll give you even more hope that they can get this Young Frankenstein show correct. Another thing that should make you happy, I think, EG, you'll be pretty happy about this too.
Let's hear it.
Disney has officially announced that Lilo and Stitch 2 is going to happen.
Oh,
They've made the
fun.
announcement today. The project is in development. No word on whether cast members, Chris Sanders, a.k.a. Stitch, or who they had as Lilo, which I can't pronounce her name, or director Dean Fleischer Camp are returning. Who knows who's going to be back in this thing. But the live action feature has grossed $923 million across the world. And it was pretty much a given that we would get a sequel to this. But Lilo and Stitch turned out to be one of my favorite movies of the year so far.
Good.
Tyler, are you excited about the sequel news?
Yes and no. I'm excited to see, later stories in that series get brought to the big screen. But also at the same time, the longer I've gone after my viewing of Lilo and Stitch, the more and more the new ending has left a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Ohana means family.
100%. Ohana does not mean
I know.
nobody gets left behind unless you need to leave Hawaii to go study marine biology somewhere else, in which case give your kid to the state.
I don't mean
Well, I'm glad you've grown more and more passionate about this. But that's what the sequel's going to do. It's going to get the gang back together. You know, she's going to realize, like, oh man, I got to make this
I
right.
could study marine biology in
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
University of Hawaii. They have a lot of beaches.
There you go.
Little water mass around them.
Okay. You know, breaking down the ideological themes of Lilo and Stitch is something we'll leave to the professionals, but I think that this movie's going to continue to generate lots of money, and the
I
second
agree
one
with
is going to
that.
continue to generate lots of money, because by the time the second one ends up coming out, the first one will have been streamed on Disney Plus a bajillion times by kids all across the country looking for their Go-Gurt to be opened in the back of vans.
Oh,
Go-Gurt's good.
Go-Gurt's good stuff.
good.
I always got the Scooby-Doo Go-Gurt.
Scooby-Doo Go-Gurt.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Because there was one flavor that was that had Scooby-Doo on it, and the other flavor had Shaggy. And you got both.
A lot of Scooby-Doo references today. Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, there was a guy in Tuscaloosa that like robbed a gas station
Yeah.
with a Scooby-Doo suit on.
You know,
I know someone who owns a Scooby-Doo suit, so I'm going to need to take a closer look. He also works. I don't want to accuse anybody.
Wow.
right? We can't get too in the weeds.
I don't want to accuse
Snitch.
anybody. Lilo and Snitch. Anyway, let's do this. Let's get to the big development that came out yesterday before we went to F1, and that is The Social Network Part 2. We are getting an official sequel with Aaron Sorkin on board to write and direct. Now, I know, oh, gosh, this is really not, he's a hard
This is
I
a
want,
person
I
to
want
please today.
Fincher. I want Fincher.
Fincher's doing that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
He can do this
Sequel.
too. He can make more things I like.
Which, by the way, Amy Pascal, who's going to produce the next Bond, also produced Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, small world. But, okay, Aaron Sorkin, which, by the way, E.G., do you have a favorite Aaron Sorkin movie? Because I think you do.
please tell me what my Molly's Game.
Look at you. One day, we're going to give you a cap and gown and a diploma,
Wait, would you really do that for me?
and we are going to let you walk.
Please. I feel like my movie knowledge has really expanded. I feel like a student of the art.
I'm going to be honest, I was betting against you there. I was thinking she's not going to remember that Aaron Sorkin is behind Molly's Game, and I was proven wrong,
Thank you.
which I often am by you. So congratulations, and we will have a ceremony sometime very soon.
Thank you.
With all that being said, I love Aaron Sorkin as a director for the most part. This is great news. He wrote the Social Network back in 2010, right?
Yeah, and I like his dialogue writing.
Yeah. But you're concerned about the directing part.
I just love Fincher.
I got you. It's more of that.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird though that like Tarantino's not doing the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel, and then
It is, and I would be an avid hater of the continuation of, or the continuing story of Cliff Booth, whatever. I'd be a lot more critical of it if it wasn't passed off to another one of my favorite directors, you know?
right?
It's like, all right, well, instead of a Tarantino movie, I get a Tarantino/Fincher movie.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I hear you. You know, the second choice always seems to be the one that rises to the top here. You know, with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, everybody would want Quentin first, but yeah, they'll take Fincher. With this film, Social Network Part 2, we want Fincher first, but yeah, we'll take Sorkin.
Mm-hmm.
With Bond, we want Nolan. We'll take Denis Villeneuve. So it's all working out there. Joseph Kosinski, once again, I want to give a lot of credit to for F1, just directing the hell out of that movie, just like he did with Top Gun Maverick, of making sure that, you know, if you buy your ticket, you're going to see all the money that went into the production there right on screen with some really technically marvelous stuff. And I think in the terms of the technical awards, like F1 very much is a Academy Awards.
Oh yeah, I felt like this.
Contender.
The cinematography was just fantastic. there were a lot of these sort of shots of the cockpit that reminded me of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to Social Network, why did you love that movie so much, the first one?
Oh,
I've never seen a movie so ahead of its time.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the dialogue. It's the all-around great performances from pretty much everyone involved in that movie. Jesse Eisenberg. I've gone on about how much I love his performance as Mark Zuckerberg in this movie. Andrew Garfield as Eduardo Saverin. Man, that scene towards the end where he comes back to Facebook headquarters and ends up getting escorted out and says he's coming back for everything. That is one of the just strongest dramatic performances I've ever seen.
What do you hope they tackle in the second one? Like, do you hope it's a look back at the past 10 years, or do you hope it's another one of those, hey, here's a good chance of where things are going sort of tale? I mean, there's so much to work with, so many different elements to go to. And how do you not include somebody like an Elon Musk in the story? How do you not include presidential elections in the story? How do you not include, I mean, it just seems.
I guess my first thought on it would be, since like the first movie used the legal battle between Zuckerberg and the Winklevoss twins and Eduardo as just the whole thing that everything revolved around, and used that to go into flashbacks, I immediately thought of Zuckerberg on Capitol Hill, using that as the framing device for this movie and going into different things about censorship and, possible election interference, bot farms, and, different documents that Facebook has on its platform that just detail how much of a negative influence it is on everyone in the world.
Well, there you have it. Aaron Sorkin's job is pretty much done. All he's got to do is just, throw a few words together because he's got the setup. It's right there.
I mean, that was my immediate thought, just because you can still sort of keep the same rhythm and pace and feel of the original by just keeping the same sort of framing device.
Yeah. And Jesse Eisenberg, some of the weight off of his shoulders now to sort of make a whole production work, and he can go be a piece. It's a part of the puzzle again. And, working with Sorkin, it's a very intense experience. Working with Fincher, obviously, very, very, very intense experience. Those two guys together to make a movie like that, where everything falls into place and it's so predictive of where we're headed. Once again, I've never quite seen a movie that got so many things right about it being the most captivating story ever told before the story even had reached its second chapter. I mean, we were in the early phases of it.
I mean, that movie was released in 2008, I believe.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
For some reason, I thought it was 2010. It was 2008. I think you're exactly right.
It was one of the two. It was right around there. But either way, this would have
2010.
been. Oh, dang it!
Sorry.
Either way, this would have been 6 years after Facebook was invented, roughly. So no one knew what it would become.
Yeah.
Even after it had gotten its initial success. I mean, MySpace saw a bunch of success, and nobody uses MySpace anymore. Tom sold the platform and just dipped out.
At one point, he was all of our friends, and
now
he's just a distant memory. Different time.
Yep.
But did y'all have MySpace accounts, or was that like
Past
way
my time.
too okay?
Yeah, that was before my time as well.
I didn't
Before
know
my
if it
time.
was still sort of on its last leg when you guys were getting onto social media.
It was on its last leg, but it would have been like just before I would have even been interested in having a social media.
There was a scene in the movie Funny People where James Taylor's playing a charity event, and I believe it's for Facebook, and he's screaming like, F MySpace up there on the stage, and it cracks me up every single time. But if you haven't seen Funny People, this scene doesn't sound funny at all. Some people don't consider that movie to be funny at all. I actually think it's pretty good. That's going to do it for today's show. Some light headlines here. We'll have more headlines tomorrow for sure. We got to get EG to go see F1.
Yes, that is my weekend plan.
that is your homework this weekend.
homework. I
Go
can
see
do that.
F1. Once again, there's about 5 things I could rattle off right now that I'm not going to, as to reasons why this movie's made for you. So go check it out. Give us your review early next week. And we're going to give everybody else a chance to go check it out because F1 is the movie to see this weekend. Hunter Bussey's going a second time tonight. We got that early access last night, and it really, really did impress us on a whole lot of levels. So go check out F1. We'll have a further discussion on it tomorrow, and we'll kind of see what it does over the weekend because this really is a big gamble. A reported $300 million budget. Jerry Bruckheimer saying it's not really that much. We got some deals and we made some work. I'm not going to tell you the number. It's not really that much. Oh, okay. I'm curious to see what this thing does financially, especially in its opening weekend. I think it'll hold really well, and it's an audience pleaser for sure.
Definitely. I can see EG posted up with the biggest bucket of popcorn that they have and a big, large Coke.
There you go.
Enjoying
Yes.
this movie.
Have some fun. Everybody, enjoy your summer day. Try to stay cool. Stay out of the heat as much as you can. We'll see you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.